everybody, welcome to Lounge with Lizzie. I'm Lizzie. This is my kitty Luna. She's chilling in the background. You might see her mom Gaia jump up there because I have the window wide open. The sun is starting to set and it's starting to get pretty. Perhaps you'll see it. It's dark and gloomy today, so maybe you won't because it's raining on and off. That's why we're not filming outside today. But tomorrow, even though it's going to be gloomy, it's not supposed to rain, so we're gonna have some fun outdoor stuff tomorrow. But today we are inside. Like I said, hopefully my window's very dirty. I have not cleaned it yet on the outside because it's spring, but I should. All right, let's see. I like to get some precognitive stuff. I like to pick at least 3 cards that I think are going to come out. I'm trying to channel with spirit here. I feel like biblical, Celtic, persecution, and ships. So 4. So that's ships, persecution, Celtic. What's the other one? Persecution, Celtic, ships. Maybe it's not important. Maybe I'll know it when I see it. And galactic. 1 pack. Baby. So, something about a baby will be relevant. Food and hunger. Uh-oh. It's hard to get. Galactic. You are a star seed. You've had many past lives. Medicine man or woman. Persecution. And finances. Not that I'm happy to be persecuted, but Spirit is really channeling it. I'm sorry, my cat's messed up my tablecloth, and now it's messing up my flow. Hi, you just got closer. How's it going? Whoa, I almost slid all my cards off though. Alright, I plan to do this one in nature, but I feel compelled to do it tonight, so we're doing it tonight. Again, this is a compare and contrast. I'm going to talk to you about, see my wedge. I don't know if you watch did I post my cat video? I put that wedge there so it's like a desk so I can type. But I have to take it out when company comes because it looks weird. But, I compare your past life to this life to tell you what you need to break, what cycles are repeating, what things are similar, help you see something important. But it's also for fun. High priest, priestess. Love life, forgiveness, biblical, that's what it was. And farm is popping to me. We'll get a few more. What do we have that needs to come out? Celtic, health and forgiveness. Oh, forgiveness already came out. Father. Leaving or travel. Oh, ships it was. Trust and faith. Celtic and ships didn't come out. Greco-Roman. So this is definitely, oh my god. Cards are just flying. Egypt is, I feel like Egypt is for everybody. Everybody's Egyptian past life is popping right now on my table. Or I'm just an Egyptian past life reader. I don't know. A lot of people stem back from Egypt. It's connected to Atlantis, technically. Imprisonment or slavery. spirituality or religion. Egypt on the bottom again. Spouse popping, orphan. Transportation and ships. I just feel like you're a nomad. I think that's what that was getting at. All right. So let me break this down for you. As a baby, I feel like you were born into, we have, where'd it go? Slavery. Like I said, this is biblical times. This might even be baby Jesus time. So maybe you were a part of protecting baby Jesus or getting him born. For some of you, I'm feeling that. With spirituality and religion and angels popping and galactic, you definitely, and forgiveness, you could have been part of after Jesus, after he was persecuted. You could be a child of Jesus. There's rumors that the blood of like Jesus fathered children before he was persecuted. I believe that as well, but that's up to you. Basically, I just feel like you come from a very strict religious upbringing wherever you were. You were born into famine. Your country was struggling. I don't feel like your parents agreed with whoever was in charge, Pharaoh, king and queen, doesn't matter. This was a very selfish ruler. This was somebody that was just out for money and would like broke the backs of the people. This was like people dying in the streets, getting whipped. I feel like your family was slaves. Your father specifically, I feel like died protecting you or was persecuted. Maybe they were a healer, maybe they were like an early unionist trying to get everybody to band together, like there's more of us. If we all don't work, the Pharaoh doesn't get what they want. And I feel like your father died for trying to change things. I'm not getting much about a mother other than maybe she was a nun or she was persecuted for being like a early shaman, a healer. If you went against the Pharaoh's beliefs, you would be killed. I feel like you moved away. Maybe, I think your mom lived. Maybe that's why I'm not getting much about her at this time, because either you were orphaned and pop, so you either could have been enslaved when you were younger because your parents died young and you had to wait till you were older, and that's when you nomaded out. We will find out more later. But let's get a little bit more about you in the past, like as what you looked like, what your energy was like, and we'll do you now, and just we'll break you down as a person and like mentally, physically, what you likes, dislikes, what how people saw you, and then we're gonna get into like the details of what you did for a living, how you lived your life, what you believed in. So let's get into your energy. Like, what energy did you give off when you came into a room in your past life? How do people feel about you? This tells me a lot about your position too. We have the Traveler and the Higher Self. So I definitely feel like you were some kind of spiritualist, shaman, priest, nun, nomad, not really belonging to anywhere, well traveled. I feel like you had a lot to offer. People are like, wow, that person's been everywhere, or the things that person must have seen. But you were like a good, noble person. If you did come from that leadership that was like selfish, this fucking tablecloth, they messed it up on purpose. I have one under it that's supposed to keep it on from sliding, but it clearly doesn't work because that one slid and my tablecloth stayed on. Maybe that's the point. I don't know. The Balancer, yeah. They saw you as a peacekeeper. I feel like you could have been like a knight. With the Higher Self, with the noble, you could have been like a landlord, a knight, a bishop, a priest, anything like that. But you balanced out people's souls. You could have been like, they were very into death being a journey, a passage, a voyage. So you could have been like a medium. They could have considered you someone that you go to communicate with the dead, or the dead come to you for pardon. You might have been a priest for the dead and not the living, because they did have that as well. Oh my god. We have the survivor and the inventor. So you were very smart. I think wherever you were, if you saw something that wasn't working, you found a creative way to fix it, or like made tools to help work easier because you were a slave. I feel like you did invented some kind of tool that made physical labor easier for the people. But I don't feel like you stopped there. Again, ships in the background. I do feel like you, at some part of your life, you were into trade. Maybe you were, like, you worked for, like, a pharaoh, and they were like, all right, we're going to give you some ships. We want you to travel and learn everything you can about countries, either for tactical information, trades, marketing, learning how to grow things. How do they survive? Maybe because you come from a country with famine, you were going to other countries to learn how they got over it, how they fight diseases. You could have been like an early doctor because health was here. The angel, you definitely were around death and birth. Maybe baby pops because you helped give birth to babies, but people came to you in times of trouble, and you were like a sigh of relief when you came into a room. So let's see what energy you give off now. What energy compared to then. When you walk into a room today, and this soul and this body, well, same soul, this body. Well, no, your soul changes every lifetime. We have the visionary, the shaman, and the sage. Oh my God, they see you as a mystic, a shaman, exactly the same. You're somebody who sees the answers. They come to you in times of trouble. You know how to see them through. You help them heal inner. You could be a psychologist. You could be a doctor. You could be a literal shaman. You could be a veterinarian. You could be a child psychologist or a teacher of some kind. But you're very calm and balanced and wise. People come to you for your wisdom. I still feel like you're an inventor of some kind. All right, let's see how your friends felt about you and people you love. Like, this would be your inner circle. How did your inner circle, what vibes did you give off to your inner circle, or what was your spirit like to them in your past life? This was people who really knew you, your mates. Peacock, you like to look good. You had the gift of gab. You were like a celebrity. To me, this is like you look good, you smell good, for as good as you could smell for the time. You wanted the best clothing. You presented yourself like, if you want to put it in terms of now, you were a social media influencer, but because there was no social media, every time you left your dwelling, you were influencing others and how you spoke and how you dressed and how you smelled and what you ate. I'm kind of getting like Keeping Up with the Joneses. If you ever seen that movie, they were like paid to like move into communities and influence them to buy stuff. And I kind of feel like maybe that's what you were with trades. Countries would come to you, be like, look, we can't sell all this coal. We have all this coal and nobody knows what to do with it. I need you to find out how to use it, and then I need you to go country to country and pitch it and sell it. But we want you to get ingrained with them. We want you to earn their trust and teach them by friendship. Become one of the community, and we're just going to tap you a bunch of shit to sell to them, not just one thing. We're going to start with the coal, then we're going to move in with all this vegetables we can't sell, and like we're just going to make money until they catch on, and when they start catching on, we're going to move you to a new village. I kind of feel like that's what you did. Gift of gab, salesperson, like you were planted in communities to influence them and to make money. It might not be like moving in and pretending to be married and all that. I don't feel like it was necessarily that extreme, but this was like getting in with on the like Kings and Queens Council, like making your way up the ladder, so you could influence how they spend their money. Or Kings and Queens would hire you as somebody who, like, this is why you could peacock, because you made a lot of money. Like, you knew how to, like, you were an early accountant, a early finance specialist, and the countries would call you in trouble, or as they could call you back then, write to you, I don't know. But they'd be like, help us, come to our country, help us figure out where we can cut corners to save money, how we can get out of famine, how we can get out of disease. And so you would come and you would hash it all out, and you would figure out the problem for them, and you'd get paid handsomely for it. Dolphin, you were very friendly, very loyal friend, very party animal. Like, people were happy to see you, whether they were working with you. I feel like their life improved. You didn't just like to look well. You insisted everyone around you look well too, because it rubbed off on you. Your friends were, another representation of you. Starfish, again, representing you were well known, you were famous. You could have been a royal yourself, but people loved you. This would be like a beloved, like, people wanted to be your friend. They wanted to date you. Like, you didn't have any trouble getting anything you wanted. You were, I feel like, very seductive as well. So let's see how your inner circle views you today in the same sense. Looks like we're just getting the dark, dreary rain clouds, but it was looking like cotton candy earlier. Once it gets dark, I'll pause it and close the curtains, because then it's just going to be a glare. Roadrunner! Ooh, you're on the go, always moving traveler as well. World traveler, somebody who doesn't settle down in one place, or you're always ahead of the curve in whatever you do. Fast moving, fast thinking, fast talking. Heron, noble, regal, sophisticated. You have a polish to you. You have standards. Hard-ass worker. Workaholic. A dolphin again. Loyal friend. Life of the party. People are happy to see you, happy to work with you. You still have those standards. But I feel like you're a lot faster in this life. And I mean, the world is a lot faster with social media. If you're an influencer, you gotta continuously be moving, continuously be changing, and they're definitely referencing that you do that. All right, so let's talk about your character. What was your character like to people you worked with, your community back in your past life? What would they have said if they described you? What would they describe you as? Oh, jeez. Child divine. So born into like a royal family, or a very gifted soul. Like, the gods praise you and worship you. You're a healer, touched by the gods. They might thought you, child orphan. Yep. They see you as someone who was an orphan, who lost a lot, who went through a lot, like Survivor Popped. Shapeshifter, always moving, always adapting. You, like I said, you were able to come in and show them how to get out of whatever situation, show them how to make money, show them how to profit. These were countries that were down and out, orphaned, left. Everybody's like, I'm not trading with them. Like, they don't have anything good. That country's junk. Or we can't go to that country, we're going to die. So, like, they weren't making any profits. They weren't getting countries into their harbors. And in comes you, the visionary, that would converse with the spirits and be like, what do we do to make money? Maybe they thought the gods were mad at them. And they would have you come in and pray across their fields. And whatever you said would make the crops grow. But you were able to get them out of their troubles. All right, let's see how the people back in your past life, how they, like, you're in, oh my God, my nose is itching. This is like spot on for someone. Oh my God. The more my nose itches, the more in tune I am with the spirit. How your inner circle, like, how would your lover describe you? Like people you slept with. Father. So you definitely were masculine in this life. You were a good parent. Don't get hung up on if you're a female now. I've seen myself as male. It doesn't really matter if this is resonating and you're a female. You were a male in this life, and if you're resonating and you're a male, you're still a male. It just depends, you know, whoever this is resonating for. You were a great father. You also, I feel like, I don't know why I get this shit. It might be relevant for someone. Whoever's a male out there, you don't like to wear gloves, if you will, and you like to make deposits. You like prefer it. You definitely did in your past life as well. Yeah, you had many children. Yeah, the gamble was you didn't pull out. You liked, your whole point in doing it was not to make a kid, but that action. I don't know why I get the shit, but I'm moving on. So basically you were a little bit of a gigolo, but I don't feel like you could have, back in your struggling years, if you were a slave or whatever, you could have slept your way to the top, especially if your pharaoh is like gay or a woman. Like you could have slept with your superiors to have a better quality life as a slave. But hermit, I think you were a bit of a loner. So I think what they're saying is you would go out and just have randoms, but you wouldn't have relationships. Like sex was sex, love was love. I don't feel like you trusted enough people to have love, or you stayed in enough spots to really have a lover. You had several lovers because you were always moving. So let's see how, like, your inner circle friends would describe you. Like the people who really knew you but didn't sleep with you. Artist. You could have been like a musician, or painting is being referenced. You could have, like, secret low-key, you could have been a great artist. Maybe you kept like great journals and records and you would draw, or like you were just good at what you did, like that gift of gab, getting people to trust you, getting artists in the occult of some kind as well, like a tarot card reader, or a visionary, a psychic, a prophet. Gambler, angel, always taking risks. You just trusted your faith. You trusted your instincts as if you were blind and your inner compass was the one walking for you. You had that strong sense of self, but you were a very sweet, good person. I kind of get that like Robin Hood vibe, but I don't feel like you were stealing. I think you were either helping like really stuck up pharaohs become one and liked with their people again, or just making money. I don't know, but yeah, I don't feel like you took many. I'm not sure if you ever fell in love. Let's talk about you in this life. How do your like coworkers and community people, how would they describe you? Fool in reverse. You're a bit uptight this lifetime compared to this life, your past life where you just followed your intuition blindly. I feel like this is saying you question yourself a lot. I'm not saying you still don't go for it, but I feel like, artist again. Oh, you don't, in your past life, you were very confident as an artist. You knew your gift. You were good at what you did. You knew your pocket. Nobody's words or anything bothered you. In this life, you're very sensitive about how people feel about your work. Yeah, maybe because you were bullied. I don't feel like, in your past life, I feel like you were the bully, and in this life, you were bullied. So your artistic experience is different. You are very defensive of it. You're very questionable of it. Like, am I good enough? Do I deserve it? because you were bullied. But in your past life, you were the confident one that would tell people that they sucked or whatever. You know, not always the best thing to hear about yourself, but they're referencing, you had an awakening, you came back to the light. Like, I don't feel like, they did say you were an angel in that life, and I don't feel like, okay, maybe I got it wrong. Do you see how the bully, I feel like you were so strong and confident that bullies didn't really mess with you in your past life. But this life, maybe you have, like, you're still a virgin. I was like, why did I say that? And I looked down. But visionary, like, you're not as strong and confident, so people feel like they can fuck with you, and they have. But you've always been the chosen one. You're the chosen one in this life as well. People know it. They feel it. You're very gifted. I feel like you're somebody that will be in the public eye in some sense. But there's something very unique and authentic to what you do. It comes from you. You just don't trust it. You're always second guessing, like you always think you're not the best. You're lacking the confidence you had in your past. That could be something that Spirit's trying to tell you, like, remember when you were in this life and you were so confident and like nobody would even tell you that you would suck because they knew that you would bite their face off. Maybe you're just more timid and quiet and shy in this life. Let's talk about your lovers. How do your lovers see you in this lifetime? Beggar. I don't feel like this is like, I don't feel like you beg for love, but I feel like you can be very physical. Let me get a clarifier here. What is this? Exorcist. Angel. Oh, you get low like again referencing that angel came out. You're a very good person. Maybe you just collect very demonic, low vibrational people that beg for your love. You're an introvert with this hermit. You let people come to you, and the people that seem to come to you are people that are like you need an exorcist from just to get away from them. They're trying to steal your light, like energy vampires. I feel like you've had a very nasty love life in this life. Monk, nun. It has something to do with your spirituality. Like every time these people hurt you, it brought you closer to your own divinity. They're going left sometimes. Let me get one more. How do the people... Visionary. Your lovers, you always know what they want. You are very in tune with how they feel. I think you're very surprising lover. Like you're not someone who gets boring because it's like you're always one step. Like if you sense I'm getting bored, you change it up on your own. Like you're not someone who lies either. You're very straight and honest, but you're not someone who fights for the connection. I still feel like in this life you keep that barrier. I'm not sure if you've ever fallen in love all the way. You might just go after people who are unavailable. Or you have a lot of people trying to make babies with you. Maybe they feel like babies with you would be divine. Maybe they feel like you'd be a meal ticket if you're a male. Watch out for that. That's like a little bit of a warning there from Spirit. Wow. Oh wait, we didn't do how your friends, like your close inner friends in this life, how would they would describe you? Not like the people you slept with, but... Damsel, somebody who's gone through it, needs rescuing a lot. So in your past life, you were the Messiah, you were the Savior, or I feel like you still are, and they're like, I'm always running to them for help. I'll let you place it where it fits, because it could be either or. Let me get a clarifier to see which way We're going with it. Rescuer, yeah, you're still the Messiah. You collect very low vibrational people, or you're just always the one that they call because they know you're gonna come. Like, you're reliable as fuck. You care, you're loving. Anything else? Oh my goodness. Luna, I wish you could grab that for me. Slave in reverse. Yeah, you have, because you were a slave before, you don't allow anyone to devalue you. You know your worth, you stand up for it. You ain't nobody's fucking damsel. You're the hero. Cute. Alright, let's see. Like, what was your personality like in your past life? Keith Richards. Very funny. I think you like to impersonate people. That rebellious, I don't give a fuck you attitude. Nina Simone. You rebelled against modern medicines, modern thoughts. You were someone who probably was looked at like a little bit of a kook, but I don't feel like you were. I think you were just futuristic in your thinking. Bruce Springsteen. You had a lot of country pride. Again, referencing like singer, sex appeal, rebellious. Let's see how you are now. What's your character personality like now? Beethoven. You could be more of like, if you're a musician, you could be more clean cut, or you just appreciate the historic side of things in life. James Brown. Again, classy, clean cut. Maria Callas. I'm so bad at foreign names. You're not willing to compromise who you are. You're not willing to compromise your morals. You're very old school. You're very traditional, and you're... Most of the times when I do past life readings, they're very similar, but I feel like you're very opposite. Like, your past life, you were very, a bit egotistical, confident, believed in yourself to the point maybe you could have been on the edge of being a little bit of a bigot, but I don't really feel that with the angel. I feel like you were majority a nice guy, but sometimes you came across a little bit full of yourself to people. Let me pause this. I have an audience. Sorry about that. Alright, so let's see. As I was saying, like, your character from before was very strong, very confident. You knew your gifts. When you made something, when you created it, you didn't question it. You knew it was going to do well. You were like able to manifest faster because you had that confidence. And this life, I do see you as confident, and I do see you knowing your skills, but you question it a lot more. And when you do things, you aren't sure of the outcome, and you stress about that outcome. And this is, I feel like, something that you need to transmute to get back to that, so that you can be a more powerful manifester that way. But let's get into, what was your attitude like? How did you talk to people in your life? Past life, and then we'll do now. This could be like what people like about you, your attitude, your sassafras, or what you're known for. Luck. Like I said, you came in and you changed the game. You made people money. You helped them get better if they were sick. You were a game changer. You were sent there to change it, and change came. I heard man of your word. Like, what you said, you did. And I feel like you have that in this life too. Like you can speak it, and that's another way of manifesting, but you had more confidence. Or maybe you had that confidence and you lost it in this life. They could be referencing for you to go back there if you want to change your luck. All right, let's go back to your past life. What was your personality like, your attitude, what were you known for? Oh my goodness. Again, vision, and angel wings, very sweet, very connected to the divine. Order. You came in and you set Bruno Mars, "My Baby Don't Play" song is in there. What is with it with Bruno Mars today? He's been on the radio a lot lately too. But I channel musicians for my work too, so I pay attention to repetitive songs. But anyway, yeah, you came in. You could have been like an early lawman, bringing justice, an early judge, early doctor, early scientist. Yeah, guidance. How do we make money? How do we get out of this time? And you sat there, you figured it out, and you worked the steps with him. you had an out there personality. You were eccentric. You talked about crazy shit. You probably had a funny accent, a funny voice because you were well traveled. You were not afraid to be yourself 100% of the time, and there was simply no one like you. And peace, but you were peaceful and loving. You weren't like somebody who was violent, and like people didn't dread when you came around. People were happy to see you. You were a godsend. Let's talk about today in this life. What do you like now? What's your attitude? What's your sass? What are you known for? What's your personality? What's your spice? What's your sauce? How saucy are you? Self-love. So you're somebody who's very into and love. I think you came through a lot. This is your biggest lesson. You're somebody who's very loving. I just get like very peaceful, hippie. Like you're known for being sweet. You're known for being loving. You're known for telling people to love themselves and they're worth it. You speak truth. You're a true mouthpiece out here. People trust what you have to say. You're not out here speaking vicious. You're speaking peaceful words. You're speaking love. I feel like you have a sixth sense of humor, and I support that. Yeah, you're very healing. Very, very, like you're old school classic. Whether you're young or not, you just have an old soul. You know your shit. People love you. They respect you. You give out love. You're very calm and zen. You're a fluidity. Yeah, you are. You can go anywhere. You can do anything. You can fit in with any crowd. That's prevalent in both your life. But this time I feel like you were a bit more in your past life or in your earlier years in this life, and now you're coming into a Zener phase, or you just are a Zener person and you've moved past it. All right. Let's start getting into it, shall we? Let's talk about your life. What do we need to know about your life? These are my Marvel deck, by the way. Black Panther, wear the crown with honor. So I do feel like you were a royal, or you had leadership. Could have married into royalty as well. You could have always been a royal, but been like lower down the list and ended up being a royal because the other ones died off, or the people just wanted you to, or you married in that poverty and stuff. You could have always been a royal, and you just were somebody who was always an activist, always sweet to those people, always trying to help. Never got vain and big-headed like your family. Could be referencing that. We'll see. Domino, I'm always feeling lucky. Never mind. You were like Venom to the throne. You came and shook shit up. Because you were pissed at, I feel like I really don't know if like a really shitty pharaoh or royal family like executed your family, and you were like went on this mission to make sure no other families had to go through that. So you like would go and challenge all the fucktard leaders of the world and be like, listen, you're not going to treat your people like shit. And you would go in and you would get all their slaves to rise up with you against them. Like, haha, take out one empire at a time. You were a freer of... That's badass. That's badass. Yes. Boo boo. I feel like you were on my team. Thanos. Oh. Okay. You definitely were on my team. You were fighting the evils of the world. Thanos is evil. You were like, I don't like how you treat your people. I don't like that you have slaves. I just don't like your freaking face, bro. So I'm gonna take your crown from you. You either were like a Viking or some shit and just came in and straight took it by force and war, or you like slowly were like poison in there and you get them, all their people to turn against them and like pull a Julius Caesar. Let's see about your life today. What do we need to know about your life today compared? Black Panther again. Dr. Octopus. Being right never feels wrong. But instead of taking out like dictatorships, you're taking out maybe like people out here in social media like with over entitled opinions. Maybe you are going after leaders, people that are just abusing their power or just are out here like false information or some shit. So, give me a reference to what this Dr. Octopus is. Deadpool. You help when you feel like helping. You're not so much like, in your past life, I'm going to help everyone. Now you're more like sarcastic, like, I don't really like that guy, so I don't feel like fucking helping, okay? So I'm not going to. I'm not putting my energy into it. I'll be the Black Panther when I feel like somebody really needs me, and I'll be Deadpool if some asshole is a jerk to me. I might be a hero, I might be a devil. It really depends on how you come at me. That's how you are in this life. You're the best of both worlds. Maybe you were too nice. Yeah, I feel like with the Spider-Man in your past life, you like drained yourself trying to save the whole world. And this life, you ain't about that. You're like, I ain't got time for that shit. I got stuff to do. Alright. We'll get a little bit more about this inner workings of you, and then I'm going to get into what you did as a job. This is like astrology. Talk about your past life. Tell me more. Or I'm sorry, this is moonology. Milky Way. Yep, again referencing ships. You were somebody who was a bridger of gaps through hardships or literal making peace between countries. Lion, again referencing royal. You were a light worker. You brought many countries and people together. You brought them out of the dark by bringing help, bringing aid. You were a very good royal. Very beloved. Moon Dancer. You saw them through a lot of difficult times. You were a visionary. You didn't just help, Nightshade, but you also took out a lot of nasty people that hurt a lot of people. You changed the world. You changed the freaking world with your leadership. Wow, go you! I'll talk about this life. Little pharaohs. Blue moon, you're rare. Something rare is going to happen to you, or you did something rare. Lover's moon. Moon dust. You have a rare love situation. Maybe you have a public love, or you're going to meet some, like you could be a twin flame, helping on the twin flame journey. But I just feel like you're so rare and so beloved at what you do and who you are. I think you are destined to be famous. Could be famous now. But you're just, you have, let me get this moon disc clarified. Yeah, you're still a royal in this life. Whether you have a crown or not, you still have that nobility about you. What's this Lover's moon? I just want to see if this is a waning crescent. Maybe you haven't met them yet, but I feel like something about your love life is very big, and it will end some kind of cycle for the world. That's part of your mission. It has something to do with your love life. Interesting. Let's see what you did for a living. We'll use my life purpose deck first. In your past life, what did you do for a living? Family. Royal family. You worked with your family because you were a royal. Or you just worked with communities. Artist again. Any kind of artist. Healer again. Shaman. You healed people with your art. Whatever you did, you brought people together. Me. Why do they keep going down where I can't get them? Light and love. You were a light worker, still are. You spread light all over the world. You brought people together. I feel like you were like fundraising, that kind of stuff. Counseling. Yep. You were mediators for your royal family. Like you would go to other countries when your countries were warring and try to work it out. Go to countries that were suffering and try to help them. You weren't exactly the one in the seat as the king and queen, but you were very much a royal and you were very beloved. Like, think about it in the grand scheme of things. Look how beloved Princess Diana was, but she wasn't the queen of England. You know what I mean? What do you do now? You're a builder. You could be in construction. You could build literal foundations. You could be a banker, investor, an entrepreneur, inventor. Books. Either you get inspired by books, so you kind of like make movies off your books. You could write songs from books. Author, anything. Oracle cards, tarot card reader, somebody in the occult. You're still a good visionary. I feel like maybe you could write self-help books as well. Environmentalist. Could be an activist or be in earth science or forestry. You're still got that strong protector vibe, so you could be an officer here, fireman, EMT, military. Great instincts, great insight. And you're still supported by angels, and people still see you as a support. You're definitely an essential worker. All right, these are my self-made deck. Even though these jobs probably didn't exist back in the day, it will tell me a little bit about what you did, like what your side hustles were, how you made your money. Medical marijuana, herbal medicines. You sold potions and remedies for colds and fertilities and illnesses. Definitely early shaman, medicine maker, early pharmacist probably. Navy. So you definitely, that's the ships. You worked on ships. You were probably, maybe you protected the trade ships. Karate, boxing, jiu-jitsu. So you were a fighter, knight, general. Maybe you were a leader of the military. I mean, I guess that makes sense. If you're not the king and you go in the military, they make you like a general if you're in the royal family. So you could have been a general. or a fighter. I don't know why I'm seeing like a gladiator. Definitely fought with a sword. Life experience. You had a lot of know-how. You were the only royal that got out there and lived your life. Sports coach. You were very into sports. I'm seeing the chariot races. I think they're the chariot races, like the carts. I don't know. Can't think right now. Pediatrician. So you definitely healed kids, and you definitely worked in fertility or helped with fertility. Even could have been a sperm donor. Perhaps that's why you fathered so many babies. Like maybe women would come to you and be like, I don't know, me and my husband aren't getting pregnant. And you know, back then that was bad for the woman not to produce. So maybe you just slept with him and got him knocked up, and it was your secret. And that's why you never were like financially responsible for all of them, because those men thought they were, you know, their kids. I'm kind of getting those vibes. You had very potent swimmers. Probably saved those women's lives. Sales. Yeah, definitely in trade. Sign language instructor, interpreter. You knew a lot of language. You knew how to, or you just were quick at learning people's languages. If you worked on shifts, you were ships. If you worked on ships, you were definitely higher up. You weren't like the ones scrubbing the deck floors. So let's talk about now. What do you do now in this life? Or this could be what should you do if you're looking for advice on your career, because a lot of these didn't exist then. Hospitality. Survival instructor. Still feel like the military vibes. You could have a military background and now you're profiting off of it, or you could. Doomsday prepping is like a huge thing. People want to learn how to stay safe, so you could like make money off of teaching women how to fight off rapists and stuff like that. There's classes needed for that all over. You're good at hospitality. You're good at taking care of people. Or just still good at business. Meditation coach. Very zen and spiritual. Chef or baker. I'm getting like medical marijuana food for some of you. Relationship therapy. That's what all that love was about. Bartender or bar owner. Fashion designer. Deaf teacher. Didn't you get that in your past life, like a sign language? You still work with the deaf. Maybe that's still a real thing. I see you with like a lot of entrepreneur, owning a bar, having your own fashion line. Something about your love life, if it's not prevalent now, is going to be very therapeutic for the world. I definitely see medical marijuana, or again, that could be a reference to your restaurant. But I do see making money off of your physicalness, how you fight, making money off your literal business, making money off your spirituality. You just make freaking money, or you can. Alright, let's talk about what went down in your life. This could be anything. What you looked like, things that went on in your world at the time that we need to know. This is going to be the full tea to close out your reading, and why we needed to learn about this life. So let's get the meat for your past life here. Worked in a science field, so definitely early science. Referenced a couple times. You're too hard on yourself. You don't ruin everything. It's not your fault. You're not hard to love. Stop beating. Still helping people with self-love. Helping people lost a parent or sibling. So you were a grief counselor for sure. You had addictions. This is why you were able to help. I think you lost your parents. They were persecuted, and it made you very angry and bitter, and it took you down a dark path. And later in your life, you turned around and helped people that were in your situation. A lot of people liked you and looked up to you. You were an influencer for sure. Had a passionate relationship in secret over many years, but were not married. Oh, you had to keep your love in a secret in that life. Oh, the gossip would have got you both killed. That's why you're so about love in this life. You're so open with it. You want it all over you. Because in this life you had to suppress it. You literally had to suppress it to live. Maybe you were dating a royal and you weren't royal. That would have got you killed for sure. Risk taker. I feel like you were the royal and you loved like a servant. Like someone who was like way beneath your station that your family would... You died on land and were cremated. I'm definitely getting coins on your eyes. You had a kingly death. You were a loudmouth. You were a loudmouth because you were a mouthpiece. You lived, and that's why you lived in chaos with tyrants everywhere. You had a lot of friends with benefits. Or that's what your life was, friends with benefits. You loved someone either that never really loved you back, and you loved them, or you just weren't able to. Killer looks. I feel like you still have that. You were able to get what you want from looks. You were a royal. I shit you fucking not. There, you clarified it for us. Be strong. Yeah, you were very, 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 very courageous, very strong, very noble. Don't give up on yourself. This is just a speed bump. Yeah, you were a motivational speaker. Country life. You liked it low-key when you did stay in one place. You liked to be away from cities. Has kids, so you had a bunch of kids. You could fight well or had a very good talent. Yeah, top knight, top general, for sure. I heard Achilles. Oh my God, Achilles. That might be a real person. Look it up. People come to you for help and advice. Yeah, you stood up to the bullies. Kings, it didn't fucking matter. You went there with your sword and be like, I'm gonna kill you and take your crown, bro. Sorry about you. You were praised long after your death because you freed slaves. You freed people from like indentured servitude. God bless you. You're so angry and filled with rage and unrest. Again, referencing that's how you were when your family was taken, when your country... I feel like this is what happened to you. Your country got raided. Your father probably was a badass fighter, and you watched them take him out in a way that a badass fighter doesn't deserve. So you became an even more badass fighter than your father, and you took out the people that took out your father, and then you decided that wasn't enough, so you just went on a destroy mission, and eventually that got old, and you healed yourself and you became Zen. So instead of going around destroying places, you went around rebuilding them. Full circle life. Let's talk about your life now. You betrayed your family in your life, or they accused you of it. You died as a child but lived, so you could have died before. Very strong morals and a good character. You wrote stories, books, or textbooks, or will. You died on land and were buried, so you're going to die on land one day. Middle East, you could be from there, or that's where your heritage is, or something about the Middle East. You might travel there one day. I did reference Jesus in the beginning. That could be referencing you were a part of Jesus's inner circle. You were murdered. Oh. I'm very sorry. Some of you could have lost someone on 9/11. I don't want to like make that racist to the Middle East, but that's what I heard. I am from New York, so that would make sense. But I feel like Stay away from anybody who gives you bad vibes. This is a warning. Middle Eastern, I feel like you're going to feel it, you're going to know it. This is like a stalker energy. This is someone you're not interested in at all. If you notice that they're stalking you, remember this card. Like, make sure you like get a restraining order right away. Like, don't be like, oh, he's just, no. Like, trust your instincts there. If you had someone in your life that was murdered and was Middle Eastern, I feel like something in your life, either you wrote a book about that, you will write a book about that, or you're going to see that justice happen for them. They pop in. I just channel. You lived in a city-like setting, so you could live in a city now or be from a city. Silent treatment. You're just a quiet person. The stage manager. You're not the star of the show this life. You more are in the background, or you're longing to be. If you're still a star currently in your life, you could want to take a quieter role. Or it could be vice versa. You could want to go from being the stage manager to being the star of the stage. I feel like that might be a push from spirit if it's hitting home. Your spouse treated you well or treats you well. Survived trauma. You could have lost a spouse in this life. Again, referencing loss of love in some way. In your past life, you had to hide love, or maybe they just didn't love you back and all they would give you was sex. But something about your life, childhood, and death, like you could have survived people you really loved dying, or something traumatic happening to you. You were famous for something bad. I feel like that's more like probably around your hometown, or it could be worldwide, but I don't feel like it's serious. I just feel like people are like, oh yeah, that person did that when they were little. Like, you might have a little bit of a rep. Died in a car crash or explosion. That's a spirit visiting. Got a couple spirits visiting. I just feel like that's like a hi, hello. If you had someone who, that might be relevant. Why I saw the chariot earlier with the horse races. I feel like in a past life, maybe your father died in a race and not a war. It could have been an athlete. Maybe that's why you participated in athletes. But I feel like maybe you had a parent die in a car crash, or someone close to you in this life, which they're symbolizing is like an equal wound in both lives. Did something big in history in your life, or you will. Again, referencing survivor, so you could have overcome more than one thing. Sometimes you all just need to take a deep breath and scream at the top of your lungs. I feel like the world's seeing you go through something hard. Priest or nun, very religious. You could be literal priest or nun. You don't have to be. They just see you as someone who's very zen. Hunter, good tracker, outdoor knowledge. Could still like doing that, being in the outdoors. You grew up very hard and should have gone very dark routes, but your good heart and ambition turned the tides and you got out and changed your life for the better. So again, referencing the same thing, you got out of a dark place and you turned your life around. Narcissist in reverse. You're not a narcissist, but I think you attract a narcissistic people because of your energy. Healer. Cowardly. I don't feel like you're cowardly about your career, your ambitions. I feel like you're cowardly about relationships and commitment. You haven't really healed from that, or you help people in that spot if that's not you. You almost went to prison for life or were executed, but you were pardoned and escaped that fate. I don't feel like that's true. This could be another past life thing, or this could be someone in your life that you know. Somebody had someone here that was murdered that keeps cutting in here. So if you didn't have anyone that was murdered, like, ignore the weird randos. This is for someone specific. Their person that got got murdered, The person could have got away with it. They could have been married to a narcissist that killed them, or this is a warning. If you're married to a narcissist, they might be the one planning to hurt you. Let me back up and make sure. I don't want to throw that out in the universe. Something about your car. So if you have like a crazy ex, or if you're trying to separate, watch your car. That's a side note. And if not, that's somebody who got murdered in your life. That's like, it's all connecting the dots. It's all going to click into place. The freedom fighter, so you could be somebody who's attracted to soldiers, or you are one, a police officer, hero complex for sure. Not that hero complex in a bad connotation, but you feel the need to answer the call to help others. You lived during World War I. Definitely not. I think this is just for me referencing how many lives you've actually been a frickin' soldier. If you're a soldier in this life and you were a soldier in the last life, you were a soldier in World War I just feel like you're just a repetitive soldier. Or just, if you're not a soldier in this life, you're a spiritual soldier. Fear of change. You still have, you went from your past life coming into chaos when everybody was scared of change and helping them adapt to somebody who would have been in that crowd that's very, very fearful of change. You're no longer the change maker in certain areas of your life. I feel like it has something to do with your relationship. You lived in ancient Greece. Ooh, Greco-Roman came out. They're hitting home how many lives, how many time periods you've lived through. You died young in this Greece life. I heard Tutankhamun. Holy shit, but that's not Greece though. Egypt did pop. You had expensive tastes and standards, and you had money. You looked, smelled the best, and ate the best, lived in the best. Tutankhamun, just as I said, I feel like you were just in past life very pampered. Maybe that's why you feel the need to pamper yourself. Or maybe you were pampered in this life, but I feel like the majority of you have the urge to wear nice stuff because of this. You come from that in past life. You come from having the top of brass. Your soul's kind of used to it. City life, so definitely referencing city. You have it so wrong. You think that they wouldn't give you the time of day. You're kidding, right? You're so shy about love. You don't feel like anyone's going to love you. You might have a lot of body issues. This is something they're not bringing up to hurt you. They're bringing up because they want you to go back to that confident version of yourself in this life when you tackled the world and you had it by the balls and you just like crushed it. You're going to meet the love of your life very soon. I mean, I shit you fucking not. They come in with some advice like, you need to take care of this. You need to transmute that because you're about to meet someone that's very important, and you need to be able to welcome them into your life. Everything in life can be forgiven if you ask for it with the utmost sincerity. So if you ever did like a crime or had some sketched out shit or made a mistake, Spirit's like, everybody makes a mistake, and this is a repetitive thing in each of your life patterns. Like, we all make a big mistake, and it's like Spirit waits for you to step up and own it. And when you step up and own it, that's when all your abundance, like, you know what I mean? When you own it your way and you own it true, Spirit backs you up. Why so serious? Oh my God, I literally said that in my makeup video. You really need to lighten up. It's not as bad as you think. You're a bit more uptight. Spirit's like, you need to be this vibrant self you were in this past life. Like, you enjoyed having fun. Like, you didn't give a shit. You didn't worry. Everybody worries and stress, but for the most part, you were like, it's going to work out. Like, I'm not going to worry about it. Spirit's got me. I'll be able to fight that person. I'll make the money I need. Everything's going to work out. Like, you just had a lot on your plate. You didn't have time to fret. That could be another thing, too. Maybe you're giving yourself too much time to fret in this life. Let's talk about this life. time to go. Just like your past life, there came that point when you were this crusader of, I'm going to make everybody pay for my loss and hardships, and all these people that are being crushed in this world, I'm going to make all those tyrants pay. But you can't spend your whole life fighting and be a good person. Eventually, the more villages you take over, the more people you kill, the more darker and vicious your soul gets, and your looks change, and you age, and you're on the move, and you're not settling down. I'm not saying like whatever battle is prevalent in your life, it's like an everyday battle. You're staying in something extremely toxic because you're angry, you're bitter, and you're refusing to let go of it, and you're staying stuck. And it's time, Spirit says it's time to make that decision like you made in your past life when you decided, instead of going to the next place to destroy and conquer it, you were going to go there and heal the ruler and take them from being a tyrant, make them see themselves as the tyrant, and change within so that they care about their people, so that they do better. And while you're transforming the tyrant, you're teaching the people how to grow food so they're not hungry. It's like you had all this energy that you were putting into destroying things, and you were just leaving a wake of destruction in your life, and it was getting 0 dark 30, and it was lonely, and you didn't have any friends, and all you had was anger and viciousness, and it cost you everything. So Spirit's like, I feel like you're in that spot. Either it costs you everything, and how much more are you willing to give, or they're saying walk away now before you lose everything. This could be walk away from karmic issues, walk away from jobs that don't pay you fair. Like whatever war you're in, you know what I'm talking about, because every day you fight with this person, or every day this thing is a fight. It's draining you. It's changed you. Go the distance. Yes, that's exactly it. Like when happy in your past life, chop wood, all that glitters. When you went from being a destructor, and you were very, very good at being a destructor, you're a very good bully, that change in your soul caused you to stop, and in doing that made you become the earth angel, made you become God's warrior. So when you become a warrior for God, they propel you to success. They just want you to be happy, but you became happier on the inside because you were no longer that person wishing for destruction and full of hate. You were somebody that was able to forgive and release and let go, and you went further in your life. It was a lot of work. It was a lot of work to change out of that anger. It was a lot of work to go back and rebuild the villages that you destroyed. But not only did you rebuild those villages that you destroyed, you made them 20 times more successful with your light, with your knowledge, with your gifts, with what you learned from being in that bad spot, being that vicious person. By changing and putting that work in, your life became more successful, more beautiful. You lived happier. You let go of the anger, the toxicity, hiding your relationship in secret. You realized your worth, and you realized the wake of what you had done. It took a minute. Like, it wasn't like instantaneous. Like, you realized what you were doing. You felt shame and disgust, so you pulled away. You're like, oh my God, I'm so disgusting. I pillaged all these people and killed them. I became the monster I didn't want. I was trying to destroy. And you shamed yourself, and you hermited out, and you didn't think you deserved things. But then you, as Spirit works with you, you helpful people come into your life. They show you signs, your influence, and you came closer to the light. But they're referencing that there's always that pause of shame, of the guilt rushing in, and realizing what you had done. But that's what you have to do to see the lesson. This could be something that you have to face a community for. You haven't quite asked for forgiveness, or you haven't faced the music on something. Whether that's facing it to a community, facing it to your family, or facing it to yourself. So you're really at that crossroads in your life, like you were in your past. You have that choice now. You are in destroy mode. You are on that ship. You have all this success. You pillaged, you've gotten all this money, everything that you could want. But it took you to this place that you, to someone you're not. It made you something you're not, who you're not. Every step you were taking was taken in darkness and not light, and you didn't feel right about it. But at the same time, like, this could be like making money the wrong way. It could be just trying to network and use people to love. Like, everybody does it to get ahead, but is that right? No. But we all have to learn that it's not right to see the lesson, even though, you know, this is your point of seeing the lesson. You're on your way to the next place. You have the choice whether you're going to build that place up or whether you're going to tear it down. What direction are you putting your energy in? Because I feel like you've been questioning it. You've been washing yourself in shame. Maybe you don't know how to stop, or you have stopped and you're still in that stuck, I don't deserve things. Let me see. How can I help with this? It could even be like stuck in the wrong situation. Maybe somebody's doing wrong to you. Yeah, it's living in the now, not trying to plan too much in your future and not trying to live in your past. You gotta let that shit go. No place like home. It's like going home to yourself, getting away from anybody that's toxic to healing energy, isolating yourself at home so you can think, asking yourself why you feel this way. Like, are you being loyal to and true to your own path? Spirits ask, yeah. Some of you, this is about love. You can't get someone out of your mind. You feel like they're your soulmate. Even if you're married or with someone else, I don't care. You're like, can't get this person out of your mind. You feel like they're loyal. You're loyal to this person even if you're not with them. I think you've tried to move on and you just keep coming back to this person whether you're with someone or not. It's like you're right on the cusp of wanting to make a move. Either fear is stopping you or life is stopping you. It's like you're this moment of stillness, this moment of pause, and Spirit is saying this is your choice. Who and are you going to take this blessing, this loyal heart, this soulmate, this love? Are you going to embrace it, or are you going to run from it? Or are you going to stay with the one that's not for you? Or are you going to stay in this repetitive stalemate, not telling people how you feel, not speaking up for yourself? Or maybe you can't. Maybe you want to speak to someone who's loyal to you, who you feel like is your love. I don't know. For some of you, you're realizing that someone's not for you and someone is for you, but you haven't made any physical movement towards that. You're like, the 3D, there's no movement, but there's a lot going on in your mental space. Why can't I get this person out of my mind? Why don't they ever leave my presence? Either you just ran from love because you're scared of it, or you ran from this because you're with someone. This person feels like home. You don't understand why. Here now, you need to make a decision. This person or the other person. For some of you, this is love coming in. You have no idea who this is. They just want you to focus on the here and now. Let go of the past relationships. Get off that hamster wheel of thinking about how your past relationships failed and what they did to you. You got to cut cords, literally, spiritually. Move on, because you have a new love coming in. Be ready and open to move into this new thing without all that stuff in your suitcase. You got good shit coming. So it's like, make room, because These dusty old clowns from your past don't deserve to be there. All right, anything else we need to take from this reading before I close it out? Overall, what was the message? Too many. Too many. Clear and precise. Overall, what was the message of talking about this past life and comparing it to my collective's current life? Nine of Fire. It's like prepare for that love. Prepare for that new life by letting go of your past, healing yourself, saving your money. You are protected. Spirit will stand with you. They will see you through this. You just gotta trust. Two of Water. The right partnership is coming, or you need to trust that you're going to be protected if you go towards the one that you want. Make a decision for some of you, and for some of you, start healing because you got love coming in. It's collective. I got to say it both ways. The High Priestess, trust that instinct. It's like you're going to, if you haven't met them yet, you're going to know. Like, this is like love at first sight, or you're just going to feel it after hanging out with them, after kissing them, after having sex with them. I don't know. Something's going to happen in there. You're just going to be like, I feel like this is my person. This is the right one. It could be about work, but I just feel like majority this is a love thing. Or your lover is protected through any changes for some of you. Yeah, there's endings. Some relationships need to end. You're ending partnerships and you're gaining new ones, or you're ending old toxic patterns within your partnerships and starting new, healthier ones. Take what resonates to you. Three of Fire. Moving on from something. Some of you are moving towards something that's fruitful and happy, something that your intuition is leading you towards, and other people, you're just clearing it out, the shit from the past. You're healing childhood wounds, love wounds. It's like you feel like something's coming, and this is confirmation from Spirit that love is coming in for you soon. Be prepared, get ready for it. Four of Air. Just take that time to heal, think and know what you want. You're in that point, like I said, your past soul completely changed their life from darkness into light. They could have been continued on as a crusader, as a tyrant. They were very good at it, but they shocked themselves and they shocked everyone by becoming this peaceful Zen person who decided to build the world up instead of tear it down. So this is your decision. You can build your life up, or you can continue to tear it down. Take time, sit with it, make sure you really know what you want at the end of the day. And I feel like they're pushing you to lay down those swords. Stop fighting in that dark, vicious way and start fighting with your heart like your past person did. Start fighting with your higher version of yourself. Like, I want to leave my mark on this world. I want to leave something positive behind. I don't want to leave something I don't want to be known as somebody who traveled villages and destroyed them. I want to be known as somebody who built villages all over this world, and because of it, the world flourished. The perspective of your old self changed, and this is what they're asking you to do now, to change your perspective, to see the higher perspective of your situation and come out of the dark, whatever you're in, and into the light, because you changed your life before. You became beloved long after you died because you followed the light, you followed the guidance, you followed your calling. So all you got to do is trust again that Spirit's got you. Have that confidence you had before and walk back to the light. You are always a little bit in the dark. It's just a part of how we all learn. I was in the dark in my life, in my beginning years, I had to do my healing work to come back to the light. This is you coming home, just like I had to come home, just like any other spiritual person has to come home. And you got to do it more than once sometimes. If you're lucky, you only got to do it once, but I have yet to meet that person. You know what I mean? So don't feel bad. We all choose wrong. We all pick wrong. We all fuck up. Just got to get back up on the horse and ride ourselves out of the situation and back towards the happy sun and get out of the storm cloud behind you, if you feel me. I hope this was helpful. I hope you liked it. I'm going to do another reading tonight, rainbow read and a regular love reading. They'll be a bit shorter. This was more of a therapy session, so it's longer. See you all soon, love and light. Have a great evening or day whenever you're watching. This time is irrelevant, especially in past life readings. Catch you later. Toodaloo, boo-boos. Bye.